not sure what exactly has caused this, and I'm not sure if this is like something that has come about with the rise of like book talk and booktube, but it feels like nowadays every author is using book tropes to promote their book. Tropes meaning the basis of a romantic relationship described in like one phrase. And I have some opinions on some of the more popular book tropes. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, how are you? How has your week been? So today, let us talk book tropes and my opinions on some of the more popular ones. Enemies to lovers. This one, I can't lie, I do love a good enemies to lovers trope. But I feel like it has to be done right. And like, I feel like it can only be done in a fantasy or a romantic book because it kind of weirds me out a little bit when I see it in a contemporary romance, because let's be honest, in your day-to-day life, how many enemies do you have? Exactly. And so I feel like when you see a like regular contemporary romance book and it's like enemies to lovers, I'm like, really? Okay. It's like, one, you either don't even really know each other, or two, you just kind of like dislike each other and it's like enemies to lovers. It's like, you don't even really know that person and they haven't even really done anything that bad to you for you to call them your enemy, okay? Let's be honest. Friends to lovers. I feel like this one can be kind of hit or miss because sometimes authors will say they're friends to lovers when you get to the beginning of the book and they're not friends at that moment. It's more like childhood friends to lovers, but they left out the childhood part. And so if they're still friends, I think it's pretty good. But if they're not still friends, it depends on why are they not friends anymore. Are they not friends because one of them said something absolutely awful, heinous to the other person? That one, not so sure. Are they not friends because they simply just like drifted apart? I like that one. Fated mates trope. Love it. Probably one of my favorite tropes. I feel like there's not really anything I can say about it. I love a good fated mates. Stems from my Wattpad werewolf book obsession in high school. The pregnancy trope. Now this one is not one that I would typically seek out. I'm honestly really not the type of person to read books because of specific tropes. I'm not like the type to just like Google like fated mates trope and then just like pick ones from there, okay? I do like use them to describe books to other people, but looking at book tropes is not how I personally find books to read. Obviously, with the way that a pregnancy happens, I feel like most books that have the pregnancy trope in it are open door romances. I'm at a point in my life where I am not really interested in reading open door romances. I'm now steering a lot more towards clean and closed door romances. And I feel like most books with the pregnancy trope in it stem from a one night stand. And that's just not really my vibe. However, I have made exceptions for this book, for this kind of book in the past. And if I have friends whose book recommendations I really trust, I could be convinced to read a book with the pregnancy trope. Like, I did read Out on a Limb and I did really enjoy it. Fake relationship, love it. Love a fake relationship, especially when one or both of them already has feelings for the other person. And I love a fake relationship when it's to make an ex jealous. That is my favorite. That is my favorite fake relationship microtrope, when it's done specifically to make an ex jealous. Forced proximity. I feel like a forced proximity is like kind of the same thing. From it stems the one bed trope. And so when you say forced proximity, my mind first goes to the one bed trope. And I'm not sure about this one. I feel like forced proximity is hit or miss. Love triangle. I'm gonna say it. I don't like a love triangle. I really don't. I have the same outlook on a love triangle as I do the cheating trope, which is if you're able to fall in love with that second person, did you ever really even love the first person? It's just not my vibe. Just not my vibe. I feel like overall a love triangle is like kind of disrespectful to the choices. You know, I read books for escapism. I personally wouldn't want to be in a love triangle on either end. And so I don't really want to read books about a love triangle. A second chance romance. I feel like once again, it depends on why they're not together now. Because if they're not together because somebody did something absolutely horrible to the other person, I feel like I'm less inclined to believe in that romance. Billionaire romance? I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've read a billionaire romance. But the only ones that come to my mind when I think of a billionaire romance are for sure the Dreamland Billionaire series, because obviously billionaires in the name. But I also feel like the Twisted series is billionaire romance. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But the Dreamland Billionaire series, I know that they're spicy. Of the billionaire romances I have heard about, I've heard that they're all pretty spicy. And so that just puts a bad taste in my mouth in general for billionaire romances. Small town romance, this one hits, especially because I feel like in small town romances, all of the characters are very close. Like the side characters still play a big part in the plot of the book. And so I love small town romances because you really kind of get to know more characters than just like the main couple. And I love that. And you know, some of my favorite TV shows are small town TV shows. Gilmore Girls and Sweet Magnolias. And so I just am already in love with small towns. Grumpy Sunshine. I have a specific criteria when it comes to what I like in a Grumpy Sunshine book, specifically when it comes to the person who's grumpy. Because when you say grumpy, my ideal is that like that person is just grumpy. Like they're kind of grouchy. Like, you know, you're always wondering if they kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed. They're not exactly like friendly, but they're not like mean. There's a difference between being grumpy and being mean. And I feel like sometimes books get marketed as Grumpy Sunshine when the guy is just mean. And that is like not. So I don't like those ones where the guy is just like mean. Right person, wrong time. I'm gonna say it again. I don't like this one because if they're the right person, I don't believe there is a wrong time. And so if it's the wrong time, maybe it's just not the right person. Single parent trope. I haven't really read any single parent tropes, any single parent books. But I feel like sometimes what I've heard about single parent books is that people will write in like these young kids, except like they don't really spend much time around young children. And so they're supposed to be like 5 years old and they're talking like they're 15. And then it's just weird because you're like, no 5-year-old would say that. That's not how a 5-year-old acts. And then it's just like weird. And it's like at that point, did it even really need to be a kid? Or could you have just written in like a best friend or something? Anyways, those are the tropes that I had for y'all today. A lot of them we like. Some of them, not so much. Anyways, that is all I have for y'all today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know that y'all enjoy this type of content. Comment down below your most favorite trope and your least favorite trope. I want to know what ones y'all think are good. And subscribe to my channel for more bookish content in the future. I hope y'all have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.